Ba 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 ba. 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 Ba 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 ba. Hi, how you doing? It's me, Addendum. Hold on, let me turn on my stickers. And let's get some frickin' music going, shall we? Oh, you can't hear it. Oh, now you can. It's quiet at first. It's gotta build. Ah! Thank you for the pet. Get pat, you dork. What the fuck? Yeah. See, if I yawn behind the sticker board, no one can see that I did it and count towards my stuff. Teehee. Anyway, happy Wednesday. It is World Building Wednesday, specifically. Last year for World Building Wednesday, I decided to do some horror-themed stuff, and that's what I'm gonna do this week. How many Wednesdays are in this? Oh, there's 3. So at least for this Wednesday, did you see what I said in Discord? I did not. I have not looked at my Discord. I have not. I don't know what Lackadaisy is. I'm sorry. I'm old. I don't know any of this newfangled animation shit. It sounds like something animated. I'm not. I just saw the dank memes of the, what's that monster? Babe, who's this? Yeah, my brain is also shit. I know it, but I forgot. Yeah, a Dogron, that's what it was. Flesh Doggo. I just saw the gif of him, bullying that poor bat. Listen, man, Palumu does... He catches more strays than he deserves, alright? He's just a cute bat. It was a popular indie pilot that aired a few years back. Ah, I got it. Yeah, I don't know what Lackadaisy is. I'm so sorry. I'm not gonna get excited about some of this stuff. I apologize. I don't know anything about it. I don't watch shows. I don't watch new stuff usually. I stick with my old stuff because I'm an old man. But man, I'm 34. Yo, I'm old. I'm old as fuck now. Think 1920s Prohibition, but with insane cats. Yeah, I know the person who drew comics for that, but I think I also kind of saw the pilot, but I forgot what it was called. It was fine. It didn't catch me. Lots of stuff just don't catch me nowadays. Eh. I'm one of those that'll, like, turn around and go, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna go watch Avatar The Last Airbender for the 27,000th time. I'm very much a creature of habit. Also, like I said, the story just didn't grip me. Catch all these hugs. Whoa! I like hugs. Also, we won! Grabs on first. Actually, no. I prefer pets. I get wiggly and angry, like a cat, if I'm hugged for too long. Yeah, I'm okay with hugs. But I'm like an awkward dude. I'm like, I don't know when to stop the hug. I don't know. Can't do it. You are the hug bear. You are the huggiest bear. I like hugging you. But most other people, I'm like, no, just a little head on the pat. Little pat on the head, thank. That's all I need. But, yeah. It's Wednesday. We're gonna do some spooky stuff. Or rather, I'm gonna talk about spooky stuff. Last year, I did the same thing. And this year, I feel like doing it again. He is the teddy bear. He is the teddy bear. He's the cuddliest bear. I like snuggling him. But, I don't know what it is. Hugs, in general, for me, I can't do it. I might be a weirdo. But I can't hug for very long. I'd much rather take a little pat on my head. Like that. Meanwhile, if I pet Wee One on the head, he gets sneevy. Also, we were fucking dead. I'm still yawning. Damn it. We were dead yesterday. It was so rainy. Like, super rainy. Totally won't draw a Wii 1 plush for Demon. I would love a Wii 1 plushie. I would hug it. See, I'll hug a plushie all day. That makes me weird. Eh. But, yeah, I want to talk about cosmic horror today. I'll be playing more Alien Isolation probably tomorrow. I want to try and, like, continue in that game. I was gonna say finish, but I'm like, I'm not gonna finish that shit, like, right away. But today is going to be a calmer, quieter day. And I'm going to do, discussions on cosmic horror. Who's done it well, who's done it terribly. And, we can even go into Lovecraft and why this genre cropped up. Now, I am not an expert on Lovecraft like I am like J.R.R. Tolkien. I've read that motherfucker's entire, like, I've read all of his shit. I own his, like, letters to his editor in a PDF format that I actually sent to Leon for his like, senior year in college. Like, yeah, your senior seminar, that's what it was, yeah. I am a Tolkien crackhead. And I don't know H.P. Lovecraft as much as I do Tolkien, so I might get a few things wrong, but I am going to be speaking from memory as well as some stuff I might look up about him and his life, and then his horror that he has defined. Cosmic horror has kind of been cooking in 20k from what I've heard. In 20k, like, our year? Like our century, is that what you mean? And yeah, cosmic horror, it's at its ups, it's at its downs. Because some people just don't get it. The game. There's a game? What's 20k? I don't know what 20k is. Y'all are gonna have to, like, tell me some of this shit. I tried to look it up and I don't know what it is. Here we go. Oh, also, I might draw something in the background, but this is mostly going to be a just chatting. Is 20k another Warhammer thing, but it's like halfway? I meant 40k. Oh, see, that's why I was confused. Now I know what you're talking about. Okay. I was like, okay, 20k, that's obviously got the same pattern as Warhammer. Is it a Warhammer thing? It's a Warhammer thing. Thank you for correcting it, Loros. I didn't process that. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get started. So, first and foremost, what is cosmic horror? For me, at least, it's obviously the vagaries of it is fear of the unknown. Also, Weewon, do you like cosmic horror? Do you want to talk about it with me or not? Do you like cosmic horror? If you do you want to sit here and talk about it with me or not? Lunacid counts. At least to me, Lunacid counts. It's not horror. Well, it scared me. It scared me more than Alien Isolation did. I'm not hard. I'm a little horny. Y'all don't understand. Alien gets me excited, not scared. Sure, in the 80s, when it was the first movie and you were like, ah, what's this new thing? Why does it look so perverted? Yeah, I get it. It was horrifying. But nowadays, it's just like, monkey neuron activate. I'm the same way with the Predator. I know back then in the fucking 80s and 90s when the first one came out and it was like an action horror and they're like, oh shit, what is that? It's a fucking alien trying to play the most dangerous, hunting the most dangerous game and all that. It's like, oh my god, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's hiding in the mud, you know, like nowadays I'm just like, ooh, hey, that's a cool alien. I like him. I like him a lot. I want to pet his dreads. Or whatever they're called. Quills? Their hair thingies, the tubes on their head. They're called like... I don't remember the terms. I've looked them up before. Anyway, you get it. They're not scary to me. Wimbia World Day? Yeah, Worldbuild Wednesdays. Discussing horror, specifically cosmic horror. And right now I'm gushing over the alien and the predator because I like both. I like how they both look. And like I said, I think it has to do with the fact that they're just everywhere now. They're mascots at this point. The xenomorph isn't scary. In fact, the androids scared me more when I was playing that game. Maybe that makes me a freak, who knows? But I just think she looks cool. I want to pet her on top of her cute little xenomorph head. I'm a whore minus the second or. You're a whore. I knew it. But yeah. I guess since Weewon is like, he doesn't know. Boo, Android! No, no, seriously, the one time I jumped in that game, it was because I was using the, the sound listening. Fuck you mean you knew it? Yeah, it's not hard to notice. A friend of mine created a Realm of the Lost, where everything that has been lost ends up. Like Atlantis, for example. Wait, that's funny. In it is the nothings, which are non-existents. The nobodies! You can't see them, you can't even think about them. For they have never existed and never will. All you can do is think about them. After all, this one isn't mammalian, or isn't two-legged. Narrow down everything it isn't to figure out what it would have been. It sounds complicated, but interesting. Ugh. Here we go. I had to adjust in my chair. I was, my pillow was riding my leg wrong. My legs were like this. Like, because I sit in my chair with my legs crossed, because I'm a weirdo. But my knees were like, eh, because my pillow was lopsided, so I had to fix that. Also, that does sound really cool, Loros. Alright, no more screaming about about the Yautja and the fucking Xenomorph. They kill you. If they kill you, delete you from existence, removing you from all history. Oh no. How about don't? I like existing. Existing is fun. Even when I'm dead, I still want to exist. Aw, you watching Dad. Oh, really? I talked to my cat and he said murr. Aw, getting kisses. I'll move my water cups. You can walk over here all you want. I'm not drawing on my tablet right now, so you can bug me. Yeah, you can bug me. He hit me in the face with his tail. Yeah, he's the little musician. He sang us a little song. It doesn't help that we sing him little songs too. Whenever I see my cat, I sing him a little song. And then, sometimes he, aww. Sometimes he sings a little song back. He goes, mrrr. And it's very cute. I love my cat. I absolutely adore my cat. You good? Did he step on your balls? Sounds a little... You can't step on Dad's balls. That's mean. He's trying to assure he is the only child. Anyway. Let's get to the topic at hand, shall we? Like I said, to me, cosmic horror, and from what I've understood across the internet, is fear of the unknown, which could technically be anything. It's a bit vague. However, when people hear the term cosmic horror, they mostly think Cthulhu and tentacles, and that's not really where we're supposed to go when contemplating the existential dread that is cosmic horror. Now, cosmic horror isn't the only genre of cosmic you can find. I did bring up Lunacid earlier, and that is because to me that is a type of cosmic horror, but it's not horror as a genre, it's comforting. When I was playing it, I was discussing it and said that the game feels like it's cosmic comfy. And I stick to that because the way cosmic horror works is that it's supposed to draw on your insignificance as a person in the world, in the universe, your place here. Hi, Starrod. Wait. Talking about cosmic horror. But in the genre, your place is insignificant, your life is short. You know who I am, Lumen. How? There's nothing to save. I will save my spot in my brain. There. But the dread is supposed to encapsulate the fact that no matter who you are, or what you do, or how you act, or respond, or anything you are and anything you do or be is pointless and meaningless in the grand scheme of the universe and anything else beyond the universe that would look upon you with an uncaring aura or not even notice you exist. If it would even stop to acknowledge your presence. This is the core tenet nowadays for cosmic horror. Things that are just so above us we don't get. Isn't part of 2 that brief comprehension of the incomprehensible for not being able to understand it again? Sometimes, yes, that will happen in H.P. Lovecraft's work. A quick aside with Lunacid. Lunacid feels like that, but in the opposite direction. I call it cosmic comfy because, unlike the horror that is, your existence will never mean anything no matter what you do or what you are because of what you are, Lunacid takes it the other way around. It says, yes, your life is small, fleeting, a speck in the grand scheme of the universe and beyond, and you still matter. The Lego Movie is a cosmic horror. You're not, I guess you're not wrong. But that's why I've always appreciated Lunacid. It's very meta, and it's very uplifting, as opposed to, I don't want to say depressing, because that's not the word per se. Cosmic horror is supposed to make you feel overwhelmed and terrified of what's bigger than you. Lunacid reminds you that, yeah, you're an ant in the speck of the universe, but, like, you're a cool ant, and you can do more than you thought you have. No matter how fleeting your life is here, you still matter. Even Persona was based on a lot of cosmic shit, like the big bad of Persona 1 and 2. I don't know 1 and 2 or 3 or 4, I only know 5, I'm sorry. Is literally the manifestation of everything awful with human nature, in the form of Nyarlathotep. Although Persona is cosmic comfy as well, because it also has human cognition, even a single life being able to completely upheave the power of the masses. You only know 3, 4, and 5. Yeah. I know in 5 there's something kind of like that as well, but it's not as prevalent. Yeah, it would be cool to watch you play the other ones. But, yeah, for horror itself, the reason it's even got started that way was because H.P. Lovecraft was kind of a quiet, shut-in, I don't want to say neat, but he kind of was. He couldn't really hold up much of a career. He lived with his wife, who was the career woman in the relationship for a while, before he eventually, you know, left her, went back to his dilapidated house, and just lived off the rest of his, like, dwindling fortunes. He had a very rough life, to say the least. He had people in his life dying left and right of, like, tuberculosis and shit like that. And it probably made him contemplate his life in the universe. The older ones are very different, I feel like. Igor wasn't even the OG master of the Velvet Room. Oh shit, nice. But also, I'm going to just get this out right now, clear the air. He was also a massive fucking racist. He was very, very xenophobic. This man has multiple books written now about how, like, he's terrified of people of color now. Like, his pretty white Scandinavian main characters always get terrified at the end of, like, people of color, and it's like, oh, buddy, no. Like, if you know his roots and, like, his thought process, you can read his stuff and be like, ooh, that's bad. But unlike certain authors who like to spread their hate and are alive and are still benefiting financially from their books, he's dead. So you're not dead, we want. So I don't feel bad imbibing in his stuff. He's not making money from it. He's a dead bitch. But I will also acknowledge where he was a dumbass. He was very much a xenophobe. Now, apparently, according to letters later on in his life, because he wrote a lot of letters, I actually watched a video covering all of these letters that he wrote to all of his friends. That motherfucker would have been either a Discord mod or a forum poster or a Reddit mod or something, like, if in his modern day. That motherfucker was always writing and always yelling at people about stuff. And supposedly in his later years, in his letters, he slowly started becoming more open and less racist, but I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I can't ask him directly. We only have bits and pieces of evidence in his writing. Butler, Jenga, what you want on me? What are we doing? I have a lot. A comfort, Cecil. Thank you for my cat. Thank you for my cat. Wait, why am I? Hold on, let me turn myself. Okay. Get the boy bigger. Put him right in my lap. This is about how big he is in real life, by the way. He's a big boy. Big kitty. I love him. Where is he? Where is he actually? I think he went back out into his catio, like a little kitty. Also, holy fuck, it's 50 degrees outside, and we have everything open, and I am freezing, and I'm not complaining. I am very happy about the freezing. The freezing is great. Little kitty. But, yeah, that is the long and short of... What the fuck, Lord? Hi, thank you for the baddie. Thank you for throwing whatever the fuck that was at me. How dare you? Little kitty. Are you singing a little song over there for Cecil? Leon's singing a little kitty song. It was very cute. Thank you, Lola. I missed the first one. That is true. You actually missed the first one. I have no clue how that happened. So you're like, fuck it, Snowball, idiot. But, yeah, welcome in. We're discussing cosmic horror. I'm just talking about the man himself, Lovecraft. Yep. And, yeah, the long and short, he was racist as hell, kind of scared of the world, and he saw a lot of fear in everything. He also didn't know what non-Euclidean geometry was and used it in a lot of his writing, which was really funny, because he didn't understand math. Technically, everything is non-Euclidean geometry because we're not on a flat plane, we're on a giant sphere floating in space. But for the sake of it, Euclidean geometry, I believe, is when something is on a flat plane. Non-Euclidean geometry is when something is on a curve. He fears those childbearing hips. He fears a lot. He fears a lot of stuff. Anyway. He also didn't understand math. Me either, but I at least understand the basics. My ass is non-Euclidean. Your ass is an eldritch abomination, I guess. Yeah, non-Euclidean geometry was how he liked to describe a lot of the, like, old one stuff. And also Cyclopean. If you don't know what Cyclopean is, that is the, the old Olmec and Mayan building. I believe certain cultures in Europe did it as well. But it's when the stones and the bricks are, like, the most random fucking shapes you will ever see. And that was actually to prevent their shit from falling down during an earthquake. Perfectly lined up bricks will fall. These will not. Now, how they did it, I still have no fucking clue. I find, like, their kind of architecture fascinating. And it almost looks like they had some sort of ancient cement that they poured into some sort of... Ow. God damn it. My body hurts now. Go find out. I fucking wish if I could teleport back in time and watch how they made it, I would be such a happy camper. However, given the fact that time travel does not exist, well, time travel could technically exist, but I'd have to go faster than the speed of light and leave the planet about 1,500 to 3,000 years in the past. I'd have to zip away from us 5,000 light years, or 3,000-ish to 1,500 light years away instantly in order to technically time travel. If you don't understand what that is, what that means, time and space are a lot more intertwined than what we give it credit for. Speaking of spatial relativity and time dilation, yes. Fun fact, we can see galaxies millions of light years away from us. I got super confused for a second. Why? You shouldn't be. Shouldn't be confused. It's fine. I saw Cecil and was like, the fuck? It's my kitty! He's hanging out with me! Yeah, fun space fact. We can see galaxies, older galaxies, although they look newer to us. Well, some of them look newer. Some of them actually look older, which is really trippy. But they are millions of light years away from us, which means we are seeing them as they were millions of years ago. They could be completely different now, and we would never know. They could harbor life. They could be a civilization of aliens and people and animals that we will never know or see because of just how far away they are from us. They could be looking at us with their own telescopes that can only tell them so much, and they could see our universe, our side of the universe, our little corner here, our little solar system, and they will just see millions of years in the past. We will not have existed to them yet. And that hurts my brain and also makes me very excited. It's really cool. Oof. So that's why I believe there is probably a lot of life around us in the universe. Especially since we might have found fossilized microbes on Mars. Life can start up anywhere. You just need some water and a go-get-em attitude from the universe. Any galaxy that we can see millions of miles away could have life on it. And we'd never know. Because we can't see it. The biochemical processes. They could be more advanced than us. They could be living in caves. We don't know. I find that so fucking wild. Also, we've apparently discovered something called a black sun, or a black hole star. And, they could be swimming under kilometers of ice. They could be. Thing is, we actually have a moon like that. Our moon is icy and nothing but a ball of cold-ass water, but on the inside, it could definitely be warmer, and it could be harboring some sort of life. What kind of life? I cannot say. It could be microbial. It could have, like, 16 tentacled alien octopi. I don't know. No one knows. We can't look. Europa. That's the one. I said Titan like a dumb fuck. Yeah, Europa. I have a Visit Europa poster board. Nice. Yeah, Titan's the big one. Europa is the giant lake. But I find that interesting. Like, space is wild. That's another aspect of cosmic horror, which is why I'm talking about it. If you sit there and you learn as much as you can about space for a while, you go down that rabbit hole, and you just process it all, you're just like, holy fuck. I'm so small. And that's one of the... It's not a fear for me, it's more of just an in-awe fascination. Cosmic horror is cool to me more than it is scary. Because I love just sitting there and just zoning out and thinking about that kind of shit. Conspiracy theory. If you shake Europa, a giant triangle comes to the surface with a generic answer to whatever question you ask. Oh, shit. The plot twist. Europa is God's fucking 8-ball. Got it. Understood. The giant triangle is written in an ancient language, though, so we would think it would be, like, super awe-inspiring and stuff, and it just says, try again later. We finally translate it, and we're like, Hey, hi, Himiko. Pokes the beans. Beep. Says, look it over here so I can poke your beans. I don't know where my cat is. He left. Also, I'm getting a little cold. Let me get my little coat on. Yeah, boy, fur is easy. There we go. Alrighty. But back on track here after... Wagobble! I had to make a wagobble noise at Wee1. He called me wagobble, so I have to wagobble ahead. Oh, wait, shit, hold on, so I have something very important to say to everyone. Wagugas. It is Wagugas. Wagobble, yeah, Wargarble. I haven't Wargarbled in a while. Wagugas, it's Wagugas, y'all. You can Wagugas and chat all you want. And it's legal. I hope you know. You missed again! Lilith! Not very good at throwing those. But thank you for the buddy. Man, my aim is terrible today. Hang on. Uh-oh. Legal Wagugas! It is legal to Wagugas for only today. Thank you, Lilith, for the 99 biddies. I got fucking... Pound it! There we go, some of those hit. Most of them hit. Fucking got me. We would. Burp. Alrighty. But yeah, back on track. The universe itself can make you have some sort of cosmic conniption. Because I like to do that. I like to sit there and think about it, and then just be like, whoa, you know? But for Lovecraft and nowadays for humans, cosmic horror as a genre has evolved. The original way he wrote about it and he went about this was... It had to do with his fear of just anything new happening. Like, for instance, there was a story he wrote about where I don't know if he was a doctor or something else, but there was this gentleman living in an apartment complex, and one of the tenants was like really weird. Like, he was out of place and kind of strange. He was a little cold. He was very cold. And the protag doesn't understand why the fuck this dude is weird. And then when he's visiting him in his home, he realizes, holy fuck, your AC is on and it's fucking freezing. Why are you freezing me out like this? And the dude's like, no, 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 it's fine. Don't worry about it. And then one day, this weird guy's AC breaks and he's freaking the fuck out and told the dude, hey, get me ice, get me a doctor, get me everything. Like, make sure I am chill. And then by the time the guy shows up to try and help him, the weird AC guy is in his bathroom and he's nothing but a pile of goop and bones and disgusting. And he had basically written a letter while he was becoming goo about how he had been dead for a while and was keeping himself alive from just keeping himself frozen with the AC. And I find that very fucking stupid. H.P. Lovecraft was scared of air conditioning. I think we need to reconsider what scary is. He was, though. That was a really weird, stupid story. I thought that was dumb. But it just goes to show you what kind of stupid shit he did get scared of. Which, in hindsight, H.P. Lovecraft wasn't the one that basically popularized this shit nearly as much as his friends did. The main reason his shit is so well known in such an extensive, like, mythological universe now is because he was a fucking forum poster. I talked about that a bit earlier. He'd be a fucking forum poster or like some sort of dude on Reddit all the time because that motherfucker did not stop writing. He would always write letters to, like, he had like 5 to 10 people that he was constantly writing to. And they would always send letters to each other and they would exchange ideas. It's why Hoster, the King in Yellow, is considered a chthonic H.P. Lovecraft thing when it's not. The Yellow Sign, the book and the play and Hoster and all of that shit, that's not an H.P. Lovecraft thing. That was a friend. I cannot remember the man who made it. Let me look that up real quick. I can't remember the name of the guy. But it's always... Robert Chambers. Chambers, that was who it was. He wrote that shit. And it was a bunch of little short stories. But since him and Lovecraft were homies, they were constantly talking to each other. Lovecraft writing be like, dude, an Irishman just moved in next door. This town's finished. Literally. He's like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck, I have a Mexican lady working in my building. The world is over. Like, chthonic, relating to the underworld or underground. Yeah. I use the word chthonic for some of that stuff. Chthonic is actually a term you use for chthonic deities in the Greek pantheon. It's actually where the term Cthulhu comes from. That ktha sound is from that. But, yeah, King of Yellow, not Lovecraft, but attributed to him because he was the homie with the guy who wrote it. Kata. The kata. I say katha. I say chthonic because I'm a weirdo. But yeah, there's other people who did this too. I can't name every single one of them because I wouldn't know every single one of them. But I do know there was someone, one of his friends, who made, like, the Daughter of Cthulhu. Which is really funny. I only listen to chthonic bands. You don't know any of them. They're really underground. Fucking Lilith! Re-dies. I'm sorry. I'm gonna fight Lilin. For being a silly little Dorcas. You nerd. But, yeah. Multiple people contributed to this mythos. So, I'm trying to remember Nyarlathotep. I know Nyarlathotep was... I believe he wrote that. Yeah, he made Nyarlathotep. Every time I think of Nyarlathotep, I think also of the King in Yellow, even though they're two completely different characters. I'm just a fucking dork. So yeah, this entire huge-ass pantheon that Lovecraft made, some of them were his creations, some of them were not. Some of them were things that he pulled in and attributed to other people. Well, there we go. So we can't completely credit him. In fact, a lot of his stories were just kind of silly. Now, the ones that people remember the most is because of the cosmic horror, quote-unquote, aspect of it, using these things called great ones, or old ones, deep ones, whatever the hell you consider what they're called. What does he call them specifically? I'm trying to remember. Great Ones is Bloodborne. Outer Gods, that's another term. So the Great Ones is a Bloodborne term for that. We're gonna get to that soon. And the Deep Ones, I believe, is... The Deep Ones. The Deep Ones is what he called them. Because some of them were underground. Oh, some of them were ocean-dwelling, that's why. That was specifically the Dagon people. But Elder Gods were the good ones. Deep Ones are fish peoples. Yeah, Old Ones is probably the best way to describe the Outer Gods. The ones that are... Old Ones is also a Warhammer thing. There's a lot. There's a lot of words you can use to describe ancient motherfuckers. The Old Ones is probably the best way to describe them. The Great Old Ones as well. Apparently the first one I used was a Bloodborne thing. Nope, what is this? Oh, the picture doesn't want to load! Never mind. Outer Gods are like Nyarlathotep and Azathoth. I have it pulled up here right now. So this entire pantheon was just years of talking with people. Because there was another friend he had, I believe. Here it says his name was Tierney? Richard Tierney. And he was a dude who helped and then later just expanded on this mythos. And the mythos got started when Lovecraft started introducing like Cthulhu and Azathoth, as well as oh my god, my brain. What is that one? Lovecraft made a bunch of OCs. He did! He made a bunch of Eldritch Horror OCs. But then he started, like, making families. Yog-Sothoth. Yog-Sothoth is the gate. Yog-Sothoth knows the gate. I can't remember the poem anymore. Lovecraft was the original Vivsy Pop send tweet. No, don't send that one! The one! Backspace! Backspace it! Also, you can say me, alright? I made a fuck ton of OCs. I've made like 80. Now, I don't touch Eldritch Abomination sort of OCs. I'm mostly an Ars Goetia sort of dude because I'm a weirdo. Also, I don't know why. I just really like the Ars Goetia. I really liked working with the 9 Rings of Hell because I noticed there were 9 kings in the Ars Goetia. And then there's 9 Rings of Hell. Eldritch Horror, Rusty! Himiko! I don't touch Eldritch Abominations. Not making characters out of them, no. Depending on who you ask, the Supreme Archetype is the Supreme Deity, with Azathoth and Yog-Sothoth being its avatars. Possibly. Like I said, we don't fucking know. All this shit was made after Lovecraft. He didn't work on all of this... He didn't work on all this, like, exclusively. My brother in Christ, you made a xenomorph for smooching. That's a cute alien. You be nice to Kev. He's a good boy. But, yeah, he didn't do this alone. He had a lot of homies. But a lot of it got started through a few books that he made. The one with the AC that I mentioned, that was just him exploring his fear of technology. This motherfucker was a technophobe and he was very scared of any new developments happening. Which is why he eventually left the city, probably, because he's like, I can't do this, this shit's horrifying. He was scared of, like, 90% of things. He was terrified of pretty much everything, yes. I'm trying to think of another, like, story that isn't, like, eldritch horror-oriented. And it's so hard to, like, remember any of them. Because they're just so... They're not noticeable. Average white man behavior. They, yeah, his books that were non-Cthulhu mythos were very forgettable. I remember the one about the cave, where this dude is going into a cave, because I read this. I, like, actively read some of these, and holy fuck, he bores me to tears. No offense to Lovecraft, but holy shit, his writing is bad. I don't want to be mean to him, but his writing was kind of boring. You could tell he was trying to be the Edgar Allan Poe of his generation, and it was not working out for him. I don't know if that'll make me sacrilegious, or whatever, but hot take. Lovecraft was not the best writer. The only thing he did right was the ideas he made. Everything else... Anyway. Lovecraft was an ideas guy. He was an ideas guy. He was not a very good writer guy. But what ideas he did come up with, it was cool. Like Call of Cthulhu. That was cool, but it's not exactly what people remember it being. Cthulhu doesn't look nearly as creepy or weird as people assume he looks. He's just goo. Once again, Lovecraft just calls it goo. It's important to remember that Lovecraft's writing didn't become popular until after his death. Probably because his writing's not all that good. He was considered mid in his time. He's considered mid now, at least to me. I couldn't actually read his stuff. This is going to sound sacrilegious as well, but same thing with Tolkien. Love the story he wrote, but he was writing a history book. And the books read kind of wonky because of that. I would prefer to watch the movies. That, and I might be awful of a person for saying this, but I don't think the Tom Bombadil parts should have been in there. Okay, that one I will fight you on. It's Dylan! I will fight you! I am a Tolkien nerd, and I will still critique the writing, because holy fuck. It's hard to read through some of it, dude. It's hard. It's real hard. I could read The Hobbit. I liked The Hobbit. The Hobbit was good. For me. I could read it when I was fucking 9. Because I did. I owned the book. I read it. I loved it. I had it in my lap watching the Rankin Bass, like, animation of it. I loved The Hobbit. And we do have to rewatch that. Nerd. I was a nerd since I was out of the womb. I come from a family of Trekkies and fucking Tolkien nerds. My grandfather had a giant map on his wall of Tolkien shit from the original book. He took me to go see the Lord of the Rings movie in 2001. Bro was born pre-Swirly. So, with that out of the way, with my credentials out there, I can't. I can't read The Lord of the Rings without being like, it can read a little stilted. It does read like a history book. And I'm not here to read history. I'm here to read fantasy. You can see the thing here. You can see the thing I'm doing. Also, was it not J.R.R. Tolkien. Was it Lovecraft who wrote the story about a dude getting haunted by some sort of curse with his family in a dilapidated house, and it turns out the curse, like, people keep dying at a very young age, and they're like, oh fuck, why are they all dying? And then at the end of it, it's apparently just an old-ass wizard dude who's just killing them. Is that also Lovecraft? Who wrote that? Yeah. That was Lovecraft. I remember that. I'm like, yeah, some dude just kept killing these other dudes. The curse is just a wizard who's like, fuck it. Yeah, he's just a wizard that's like, I think he's naked at some point, and he just tries to kill the guy. It's like, oh no, my family has this creepy supernatural curse going on, and then it's just some guy trying to kill him. Also, The Beast in the Cave, I believe, is one of the first books I ever tried to read, and holy fuck, was that boring too. A dude is like touring a cave and he's like, oh fuck, I'm getting attacked by a monster in the dark, and then he beats the shit out of it with like rocks, and then it's just like, oh fuck, it's a dude. It's just a dude. It's just a guy. Okay, but I did really like Color Out of Space, not Color from Space. Yeah, the Color Out of Space was fine, but his stuff that he tries to do when it's not like interesting Cthulhu mythos shit is just bad. I feel mean for saying that, but I didn't get into it. I couldn't. Anyway, that was his history of writing shit that didn't start the Cthulhu mythos. The Cthulhu mythos, though, is started with Color Out of Space. What is Dunwich Horror? I remember that, but I don't remember what that was. Dunwich Horror is, I believe, about the Whateleys, and that's when Yog-Sothoth has a kid with a lady. I do believe that is the one. But yeah, it was books like that that got people kind of interested in his shit after the fact. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So he has a few like that, and you're like, whoa, that one's crazy. I liked the Dunwich Horror. The Dunwich Horror is probably one of my favorite. Weirdly enough, Call of Cthulhu didn't stick it for me as much as Dunwich Horror does. Where he's like, my bro's kind of fucky. Oh, fuck. Yeah, like these gross-ass twins. For those of you who don't know the Dunwich Horror is about a small family called the Whateleys, and they're considered less impeccably bred. They're gross and inbred, and because they're poor, because, you know, once again, Lovecraft, xenophobic, but also just fucking hated people that weren't, like, upper middle class New English people. New English people, especially back then, were like, yes, I'm English, but I'm in the US of A. But I'm still English, and I've still got a pedigree. Like, they were those kind of motherfuckers. Leon's doing the Del Taco dance. He got himself some food to warm up. What a cutie. But yeah, Lovecraft was one of those. He would have fucking owned a golf course. But, so the Dunwich Horror has to do with poor, unbred people. Oh, gross. Living on a farm. And, there was a older man. I don't remember his name. I'm just calling him Old Man Whately. Fuck it. And then he has a daughter. Daughter Whately. I need to remember these motherfuckers' names. Let me go look them up real quick. Oh, wow, no. The man's name is literally Old Whately. Oh, Whately and Whitelina. No. The old Whately, I guess. I literally was fucking around when I called him that. Has his daughter give birth to a weird ass kid named Wilbur, and people are like, wow, Wilbur's really weird. He grew up really fast. This dude's strange. And then Wilbur starts building upon his house in a very strange manner, and he starts knocking out walls. And people don't know why. And then they learn he starts looking for something called the Necronomicon. And at some point while wrestling with this dude, the protag of the story, probably some handsome young white man, he figures out that Wilbur looks fucking gross on the inside of his coat. He's been wearing a lot of clothes to cover himself, and he is disgusting on the inside. He's got, like, I think, like, extra eyes everywhere. He's got tentacles on his hips. He's got, like, goat legs and shit. Like, he looks kind of funky. And people don't know what the fuck happened with him. I believe he dies at some point. I can't remember what kills him. And then he, like, fucking melts into goo because Lovecraft loves goo. And then they figure out that there's an invisible force living in the farmhouse, and he's been knocking out these walls to make room for this fucking thing. And apparently it's because these two are twins, this weird force in the house. It's invisible, and it's a baby great one. Wait, Liam, wait till Lena. I don't know the woman's name. I looked it up, I could not find it. I'm sure it's somewhere out there, but, oh, her name is Lavinia? Her name is Lavinia. I think. Yes, that's her name. Hello, Leland. So, you were kind of close, Lilith. But, yeah, people find out that these dudes are actually born from an old one named Yog-Sothoth. And they're like, what the fuck is that? And he was looking for the Necronomicon for lascivious reasons, for evil reasons. And then they start, I believe they try to fight the invisible creature. It freaks out, it leaves, and it goes to wherever the fuck Yog-Sothoth is. So that is basically the Dunwich Horror. If you want to actually read it, go read it. I purposefully summarized it that way just so you'd be like, wow, what happens here? Go read it if you really want to know. Hi, Cecil. It's one of the few that I like. Because like I said, most of his shit kind of bores me. But that one was okay. Now, this obviously has a lot of hints towards Lovecraft and how he, sees people who isn't necessarily at the same class level as him. He was classist, just like he was racist. But it starts to tie into that Cthulhu mythos that starts to, like, get developed. Because Yog-Sothoth is one of the old ones, one of the great ones. And I believe he is known as the Gate. Now, what that means specifically, we are unsure. But he seems to be, like, one of the bigger ones. And, like, the father of a lot of these other great ones. Let me look over here. Yeah, he had a bunch of babies with a lot of other gross deities. And also with humans, apparently. And I wouldn't necessarily call him, like, the head god, but he is born of, I believe, Azathoth? Yeah, so they both look kind of like the same, where they're just a bunch of wriggly, writhing eyeballs and tentacles. Now, to Lovecraft, who's afraid of, air conditioners, that's also probably a terrifying thing. Now, where these things come from, we are unsure. But when people started discussing cosmic horror, this is what they started zooming in on. Especially after Lovecraft's death. we started focusing as a society more on the tentacles and eyeballs and creepy outer god things rather than what cosmic horror, rather than what its core theming and energy that it's trying to invoke for a genre, which is fear of the unknown. Now, these things nowadays are not very unknown. There's been so much shit written about Cthulhu, Yog-Sothoth, Azathoth, Shub-Nigroth. Fuck, there's so many. There's so many. I think Cthulhu's daughter is named like Cthulha or something like that. And we've kind of explored it to the ground these past 100 years since he wrote all this stuff. But I do think there is one that I really like, and it's been explored a few times as well. Aside from the Dunwich Horror and the Color Out of Space, which the Color Out of Space doesn't really have anything to do with the Cthulhu mythos per se, but it has to do with like a creepy set of colors, like a weird color out of space, falling into a well and like poisoning the family and the farm there. It starts off great, things look really cool, and then it just kind of like devolves. No, I'm hiccuping now. Help. Y'all help me. No, you have to help me, please. Okay, I think they're gone. I got you. Thanks, dude, you did it! You helped! Ah! Aww. Thanks, Lillian. Oh, I'm being moved. Thank you for the buddies, Lillian. I see, yeah, no, that woke me up. That helped. Ew. But there was another book that I really liked, which had to do with the town of Innsmouth. I'm trying to remember the actual book name. I believe it is called The Something of Innsmouth, but I don't remember exactly what it's called. Let me look this up real quick. No, it's not called Dagon. Dagon is just the god. Shadow over Innsmouth. That's what it was called. The Shadow over... I should have known that. There's a game called Shadow over Loathing. That's a cosmic horror tee-hee. I'm so mad. I should have realized that. Anyway. Shadow over Innsmouth was also a really good one. I really liked that one. And that features something to do with, once again, we've talked about these, but we'll go over them again. They're called Deep Ones. And they are fish people, basically. They are intelligent, they're like us, they probably are smarter than us, and they come from underwater. And, humans and these fish people... Shadow over Hedgehog. Lilith, no! But, yeah, the fish people and the human people kind of came together. They congregated and started having offspring as a result. And to, I guess, I don't want to say thank, but as a sort of token of their allyship, the Deep Ones started giving humans lots of jewels and gold and wealth. And when they stopped this alliance, the fish people got real mad. They got real mad. And that's what Shadow over Innsmouth is about. And I kind of like it a lot. It doesn't focus so much on the grand scheme of cosmic horror, but it does have to do with the grand scheme of the cosmic waters. We know less about our oceans than we do our skies nowadays. Because the ocean's horrifying, and we could have ancient creepy fish people down there for all we know. Also, the reason I brought up Dagon is because Dagon's actually some sort of creepy fish guy in the Cthulhu mythos. And I'm assuming Dagon could be either the patron god or some sort of ancestor to these fish people, the deep ones as they're called. I'd like to think he had a hand in their creation, because underwater seems to be kind of a running theme for a lot of Lovecraft's works when it comes to some of these things. Like Cthulhu, for instance. Cthulhu's not outside of our world. He's underwater. He's sleeping. Underwater, I believe. Or he was sleeping. Call it Cthulhu, he gets woken up. And Dagon is mentioned in that, I believe. Because the protagonist of Call of Cthulhu finds an ancient city that used to be underwater, but has been raised up. And it's got hieroglyphs, kind of like Egypt, but it's all like fishy and weird. And it was built with non-Euclidean geometry. Oh, it's so scary. But, this is what I mean nowadays by, like, it's been kind of fleshed out, and we can comprehend the incomprehensible nowadays. To me, cosmic horror, in its vanilla brand of H.P. Lovecraft shit, is pretty comprehensible. Back then, it was probably horrifying, at least, especially for him. Especially for Lovecraft. But nowadays, it's like, we kind of know now. It's not that hard to, like, take your own spin on this and then make someone understand it. However, there is another aspect of cosmic horror, which is modern day stuff. We don't have to focus purely on this now. Me, when I see horrors beyond my comprehension, I don't get it. Oh man, I don't get that. What is that? Ah, my ear hole. Hold on. My ear hole itch. Alright, I'm better. My ear hole just itched a little. There we go. I'm better. I don't get it. That's me when I see anything, though. I don't get it. But, yeah, nowadays, Cthulhu and all that has been run into the ground. Hi! And Desmond and the baby boy. Yay, me and Cecil. Hi, Taki. Welcome in. We're discussing cosmic horror, and at least how it was in the 1920s. I believe that was when he was doing his thing. I don't remember anymore. When did you start writing, my guy? 1960s. Yeah, I'd say 1920s. The 1900s, early 1900s, was when a lot of his stuff was published. And Unknown Horror, me. Okay. 1910s, 1920s. Yeah, okay. Just making sure. I don't know Lovecraft like I do Tolkien. Let's see if I can talk while keeping Lilith in my mouth. Ow. There we go. He was contemporary of Poe. He tried to be Poe. I already discussed that. I discussed how it felt like he was trying to be the next Poe of his generation and he was failing. Because I am not super... I was not wowed by Lovecraft's writing, especially the stuff that has nothing to do with his Cthulhu mythos, which, once again, like I explained earlier, he didn't write all of that. He didn't work on all of it. He had a few friends hanging out with him. We won burp. He had a few friends next to him, not next to him specifically, but they wrote letters frequently. Sorry about that. It snuck up on me. No one's been collecting your burps, so I'm gonna do it. But, yeah, we discussed that earlier. And now I'm moving on to the more modern takes of, not the Cthulhu mythos per se, but definitely cosmic horror. I am a fan of cosmic horror, so I've imbibed in quite a bit of stories. And for me, I think the most prevalent, you're gonna know who I'm talking about, the most prevalent motherfucker that does cosmic horror correctly is Junji Ito. He, for me, is one of the most prevalent writers of our time for cosmic horror. He is a mangaka, specifically. And all of his stuff reminds me of the core of what cosmic horror is. Not just the Cthulhu mythos and the Necronomicon and all that stuff that we've, like, driven into the ground. He explores mundane shit that becomes so supernatural. If you want something truly scary, Roko's Basilisk. I believe that is a found game sort of horror. Oh no, that's something else. I was thinking of Basilisk the found game. It's a theory. No, it's not a game. There is a game called Basilisk, and I don't remember where it is. I'll have to look that up. We'll cover this in just a minute. Cecil, you're a baby. It might be a play on whatever this is. But let me look it up real quick. No, not Harry Potter. Wait, was this made by Akuma Kira? Oh my god, Basilisk was made by Akuma Kira! No fucking wonder I'm like, that one's also really good. We'll discuss him in a minute. Right now I want to talk about Junji Ito. For me, he takes the most absurd things and can turn them scary. And in a way, it kind of revitalizes for me what Lovecraft was originally trying to do. Except I don't know if Junji Ito is actually terrified of anything. He just knows how to find terror in what he's looking at. If you don't know who Junji Ito is, I'm sure you will recognize the Uzumaki manga that came out. It was a citation how Junji Ito draws his cat. He draws his cat so fucking weird. But he loves his kitty. And he's actually, from what I understand, he's a cool person. Cecil, what are you doing? What are you doing, my guy? I hear you. You behave. He's thumpa-lumping in his catio. I don't know what he's doing. He's got the zoomies. Did you ever watch Carpenter's Apocalypse trilogy? John Carpenter? Is that who we're talking about? Yes. Like I've seen Prince of Darkness, and I know about, Ash and the Evil Dead. But it's been a long fucking time since I've seen that stuff. I have seen The Thing, but once again, that was a long time ago. I haven't watched any of that stuff in so long, it would be very hard for me to, like, recall a lot of it. Let me look at it real quick. What are the trilogy? Apocalypse trilogy. Oh, it starts with The Thing. This article sucks. This article tells me nothing. But yes, I have seen some of those movies. I don't know if I've seen all of them. I have seen Prince of Darkness, I have seen The Thing. But once again, it's been so fucking long. I might as well just not have seen it at all by this point. But, back on topic for the moment, Junji Ito, one of the best dudes that's ever done this shit. And that's because he doesn't focus necessarily on the Cthulhu stuff that a lot of cosmic horror tries to lean in on. He does his own shit. And most of the time his own shit is very confusing and horrifying. Prince of Darkness and The Mouth of Madness. Ooh, I've never seen Mouth of Madness, but I've heard of it. But I have seen The Thing. The Thing was great for its time. Very much an Amogus They were Among Us before Among Us was Among Us, basically. But yeah, Junji Ito has focused on writing stories that take mundane things and make it fucking horrifying. Like I said, a spiral. Spirals aren't terrifying. But he has taken anything and everything that has a spiral in nature and made it terrible. Like, people start turning into snails at some point in that that comic, because snails have spirals. Like, people just keep getting cursed by it, and by the end of the story, shit is happening to the point where you're like, I don't know what the fuck is even going on with this. And it feels very cosmic and strange, and like, the entire town and region is plagued by something they could never explain. And I love that. Another example is Hellstar Remina. Hellstar Remina is also one of my most favorite of his. And that has to do with a scientist who finds a new planet and names it Remina. And that is named after his daughter. However, Remina starts moving in very strange patterns. And then it starts moving towards Earth. At first they think it's getting bigger in the telescope, but no, it's moving closer and closer. And then Pluto disappears. And then Uranus disappears. And they realize the planet is in our solar system. People start freaking the fuck out, obviously. I'm not going to give away too much about that one, because once again, I want you guys to go read some of this shit. I loved reading it. Hellstar Remina is fucking great. And people, obviously, start becoming weird-ass cult members, as you do. And that is a prevalent thing as well. I've noticed in not J.R. Tolkien. I'm still thinking about Tolkien. In a lot of Lovecraft stuff, especially when it comes to his Cthulhu people, people start worshipping this shit. They start becoming a cult. They start losing their minds and, like, worshipping whatever the fuck is coming after them. In, like, some sort of trying to appease. And there's also always one person that seems to have gone mad from the cosmic awe of it all. And this is also prevalent in Junji Ito's work. You will have one person that has basked upon this shit and have lost their minds because of it, and they're usually the person you want to fucking listen to, and no one ever does. In Uzumaki, for instance, what's the girl's name? Not Kimi. I believe it starts with a K. I tried to say Kimie, but I don't think that's her name. Her boyfriend is one of these madmen. He is one of the first victims of the spiral curse. It takes his father from him, and he has lost his mind because of it. And the spiral seems to be kind of like converging in and coming after him, but he can resist it. It also seems to kind of like swirl around his girlfriend too, but once again, because she's associated with him, he can get her out of that situation. And Junji Ito has a lot of these mad psychics of prevalent information that we would never understand in a lot of his works, especially the longer works. You would also recognize one of his works, the Onigara Fault, I believe it's called. What was it called? Hold on. I have to look up all of his shit. Amigara? Is that what it's called? I said Onigara like a dum-dum. Enigma of Amigara Fault. That was a short story that he made about a landslide happening and just opening up a side of the mountain. And it reveals holes. Now, these holes are human-shaped. And people have seen this on TV and suddenly get this huge compulsion to go to this fault and actually crawl into the holes. No one knows why. No one really knows who made it. But one of the characters here has had a premonition in his mind about why these holes are here, sort of, but it still doesn't answer anything. So that's another very good example of his stuff. Oh, I burped. There's also another set of stories he's got going on called Tomie. Tomie is great. But I wouldn't call her cosmic in a way, she's just a ghost. But also she's a person, and depending on the story, she takes on a different role. Like, for instance, sometimes she's a victim of something happening to her, other times she's the aggressor. Tomie is a very strange character that he likes to explore a lot of stuff with. And he's written so much. And I really like his stuff. If you want to go read his stuff, please do. I would recommend him. There's also apparently going to be a game coming out inspired by his stuff soon. And it's actually called, like, Junji Ito Panic something. Let me actually go look. I think it's on Steam. I love choking on my own spit. It's great. Junji Ito Maniac. Infinite Jail. It's got a demo. And I saw a bitch that reminded me of Tomie in it. If you guys are interested in Junji Ito and you like him, I would say check out whatever the fuck this is about. I might actually add to my wish list just so I can watch it. What do you mean, oops, sorry? Didn't let me add it. That's fine. But yeah, I say look into that because it looks really cool. I have no clue what's going to be happening in it, but if Junji Ito is anything to go off of, bullshit's going to be happening. Now, he is the most prevalent, at least to me, when it comes to the core themes of cosmic horror. He doesn't touch on the Cthulhu mythos itself, but he understands the assignment, clearly. There's a thing in 40k called the Tyrant Star. It's a roaming brown dwarf star that heralds disaster, madness, darkness, warp storms, and mass death, leaving frozen, dead planets in its wake seeking new victims. Yeah, that's kind of cosmic horror. It's something you don't understand. It's some big creepy thing that you're like, what the fuck? And then it's just dealing damage to everything and killing everything and you don't know how to stop it. That's the core, at least to me, for cosmic horror. You don't understand it and you don't know how to stop it. And no matter what you try, you can't stop it. It's going to happen whether you like it or not. And you're just going to have to learn how to live. So, I would consider that cosmic horror. What's Corpse Ocean? I heard about this. Akuma Kira makes so much shit. He has so much. He has an itch.io. And that's where I was thinking of Basilisk, because I remember you mentioned it. And it's spooky. Let me actually cover Roko's Basilisk real quick, because you did mention it and I want to see what it's about. Roko's Basilisk is a thought experiment which states that there could be an artificial superintelligence in the future that, while otherwise benevolent, would punish anyone who knew of its potential existence, but did not directly contribute to its advancements or development in order to incentivize that advancement. It sounds kind of like some sort of superintelligence AI religion. References the Mistless Basilisk. Yep, I already knew that. Interesting. I don't know anything about this, though. I'll have to look into it more later. Now, what is Virgilius? I will say Akuma Kira is also a very good proponent of cosmic horror. Because he's the one who did Spooky's House of Jump Scares, Lost in Vivo, Lunacid, Basilisk, and apparently something called Paradolon. I recognize this, but I don't know what it is anymore. I forgot. I think it's a point-and-click game where you're running away from something bullshit happening in the sky. It looks like a giant head floating around. That's also horrifying. So I would consider that also some sort of cosmic horror. Basically anything big, doesn't care about you, you don't know how to stop it, you cannot. And Akuma Kira also covers that in a way. Now, like I said, Lunacid isn't as horror as much as it is adventure game, but it's still cosmic to me. I would also kind of argue that his prequel was also that, just not as big. Because, fun fact, he made a free Lunacid prequel game that you can play, but I'm not really a fan of the control scheme because it's taken from the old Kingsfield, I believe. He used the, you can tell he used the original, like, Kingsfield Engine 4, maybe? Like, one of the old engines to make the game. So it's a little clunky, but I also respect why he did it, because it's a prequel. It feels very meta, and I like it, but I personally couldn't play it because I just did not like the clunkiness of it. However, I did watch WeWon play it, and it was really interesting. It was the story that happened before the events of Lunacid. It was that one dude, that skeleton dude, who he basically accidentally nuked his own, like, home and made a giant crater. In the original Lunacid story, that's who he was. He was the guy who did that. And you're playing as him, trying to figure out how to save your home. It's very interesting. What, kitty? Goodness. So, the takeaway for that, for me, that is what cosmic horror is to me. There's also the inevitability of it all. Hi, Salem! Welcome in. Oh, Cecil. Can I help you? I'm having a cat going back and forth between me and WeWon. Oh, he asking for kisses! He's so cute. I love my little kid. But, yeah, Salem, welcome in. We're discussing cosmic horror and why it's my favorite genre. And I think it's because I love sitting there and letting my brain zoom out and try and process the improcessable, comprehend the incomprehensible, and understand the inevitability of everything. Santa Claus is an eldritch being? No! Santa Claus is a Time Lord. I will not be taking any more questions. Just like Mary Poppins and the Doctor, Santa Claus is a Time Lord. Put Hemi on head. Okay, Hemi, you go on my head. There you go. Now hear me out. I will explain why both Mary Poppins and Santa Claus is a Time Lord. They can manipulate the things around them through time. They have an object that is bigger on the inside. Mary Poppins' bag, Santa Claus's present sack. Also, they teach lessons. The Doctor was originally supposed to, like the earlier seasons and stuff, was a dude that was traveling around to teach people about history. Mary Poppins teaches children etiquette. Santa Claus teaches children how to have a moral compass and not be assholes. No, Mary Poppins is a being like the being behind the cloak of Pennywise. But Pennywise wants to eat kids. Specifically, he wants to put them in a fucking crazy-ass mind prison and eat their, fear until they dry. And an emotion feeder who feeds on joy. Yeah, but she leaves at the end, and she doesn't keep them in a prison state of mental decay. She leaves. Also, fun fact, the kid's mom in Mary Poppins is a suffragette. Because back then, women couldn't vote. That's what she was yelling about in the original movie. About trying to help women vote. Man, Disney used to be cool. And Disney used to be cool until they got money hungry. But yeah, I will not be taking any questions. Santa Claus and Mary Poppins is Time Lord. Baby boy. Petting my cat, don't mind me. Alrighty. Back on topic. Who here wants to discuss cosmic horror as they like it? If you like it. If you don't, explain why. And, if you want to talk about your own genres of horror. Cecil will not leave me one alone. But, yeah, I'm here to open discussion if anyone here wants to talk about it. I'm also looking into whatever the fuck Virgilius is. It's some sort of... It's a walking simulator? Thank you, Kira. Apparently it was just a, graphics test that he did. Interesting. So it's just a walking simulator test. That's pretty cool. Now, Basilisk 2000 is also creepier. Mary Poppins does not destroy her food sources. She latches onto a miserable family, helps them find joy and grow. When she's feasted enough and the family is stable, she leaves to repeat the cycle. I still don't see it. It just sounds like she's a person that wants people to be happy. Oh yeah, Lost in Vivo. I've not played this yet, but I do know about it. Do I want to play it? I'll think about it. Not all eldritch beings are, amicable to humanity. Maybe. But if that's the case, the Doctor is also an eldritch creature. Because I personally... my headcanon is that they're all the same species. They are all human-looking, probably taking on this human, form to make us more appeased. And then they give us something in some way. Usually through some sort of moral understanding. And they have objects of a larger size whenever you go inside of it. Also, Mary Poppins can just fucking straight-ass float. They can, like, magically move themselves. Santa Claus with his sleigh. Mary Poppins with her umbrella. My head itches, help. Okay, I'm better. With the retcons, the last few years, the Doctor is indeed an eldritch being, other than the, Gallifreyans. Yeah, so, if you are arguing that they are all some sort of eldritch being, I'm going to counter-argue that if they're all eldritch beings, the Doctor is also an eldritch being, and they are all the same species. Alright, so I've looked over all of Kira's games. He called himself a game designer cat. That's true, he is a kitty cat. He's a purple cat with 4 eyes, I think. That's like his icon. Oh, sorry, just 3 eyes. And he's the dude who made Lunacid. Lunacid is fucking great, by the way. Y'all have seen me play it, and it's was very good. Okay. I might look into Paradolon, because Paradolon looks like another one of those creepy horror games. And I don't know what Corpse Ocean is, but it sounds fucking freaky. Now, what I'm looking at is his itch.io page. Weirdly enough, Lunacid is not on here. That's on Steam. So he's got, like, his portfolio is, like, kind of scattered, but that's fine. I'm not mad about that. Meteor approaches Earth from deep space, carrying an unknown malevolent force. That's another thing. See, a lot of stuff always seems to come from space that, like, threatens Earth in some way, and that always ends up being cosmic in some capacity. There's also been, games and stories that I've seen where people have actually left Earth and landed on a planet or a meteor or a moon and have realized it's not what it looks like. Or something is here and it's going to confuse and break the mind and then possibly eat you, or accidentally step on you because it doesn't know you're there. Because remember, cosmic horror, for me at least, has to do with, especially the Cthulhu mythos, creatures that don't give a shit that you exist. Or they don't even know you exist. Some just don't know and don't care. And that's where that fear of inevitable I don't matter to anything in the grand scheme of things comes from. Because I know some of these creatures, our entire existence relies on them being asleep because we are their dream. This is also explored in Lunacid, except, like I said, Lunacid's not horror so much. But it talks a lot about this meta where you're asleep, your god is asleep, its god is asleep, and you must wake them. That's like one of the secret, yeah, it's one of the endings. No, I thought it was a videotape that you got to watch.
Yeah, like, so it's only done for
Hmm. Yeah, you're in a dream within a dream. Now, I took that to mean video game. It felt very, you're in a video game. Azathoth is one such streamer. Yes, he is. Azathoth, why am I struggling to say his name? He is the Sleepy Bo Beepy, and he is dreaming up the entire universe that we are in. When he wakes up, we disappear. But how long is forever, and how long is the universe's existence to an eldritch being even older than the universe itself, even older than the concept of time? Maybe he woke up already and we'll never know. Because time for us is different for them. They live outside of time. Time is a construct made by our reality, and our reality is made up by his dreaming state. He could very well be awake and interacting with us for all we know. That's the horror of it all, and I love that shit. It's so cool. I love that, like, whoa, but like time out of time. That stuff is so fucking cool to me. I love it. Let me adjust my coat. There we go. It reminds me of something else, but I can't remember what I was gonna say. I don't remember. I distracted myself. I was my own distraction. But that's the kind of shit I love. Where it's like, you don't know. Because you're not them. They're so huge. You don't know. Oh! One more thing. One more IP, one more story that has to do with the cosmic reality of everything. You're not going to guess what I'm going to say. Homestuck. Homestuck covers cosmic reality. You guys, whoever's been here watching us read that, you've gotten to about Act 5. I haven't gotten there yet. There is truly cosmic forces happening in Homestuck. Salem, don't choke me out now. It covers beings beyond our comprehension. And it discusses that these things are beyond reality and are possibly the reason reality as we know it exists. Now, I have theories on what these ancient beings in Homestuck are. I'm not going to go over it too much because I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. Especially if you're reading it with us or you want to ingest the story through our live readings. But I will say, Homestuck is a lot like Lunacid, where, by the way, you're welcome. Ah, thank you. Are we, what? Thank you. But, Homestuck is another story kind of like Lunacid, where the horror and the cosmic spookiness of it all is overshadowed by the fact that you still matter. The horror terrors, as they're called in Homestuck, need the kids. At some point, they ask, and they get the kids to help with something. Because as big and as terrifying and as incomprehensible as they are, they still need help from time to time. And the kids are there to help. For all this. Eh? For which part? Me talking about cosmic horror? Or Homestuck? Or the Time Lord conversation? But, yeah, also Homestuck even starts with the whole world getting fucking destroyed by, like, meteors and shit. Their home as they know it is gone. Meteors crashed into it and they don't know how to get back. That's what the story is all about, and I really like it. It does feel, to me, very cosmic. Not necessarily horror, but that existential dread of, holy fuck, my home is gone, and I'm just floating in the middle of nowhere on a planet I don't know. Hi, Tricky! Welcome in. To me, that is still kind of cosmic. And I like it. That's another reason why I was so into, Homestuck. After a while, it just became this huge odyssey of a story that made you think. Because there's so much shit happening in the background with forces bigger than the kids and bigger than you. And it was really nice. I'm still confused as to what Taki is referring to, but that's because I'm a dum-dum. So I've looked into Corpse Ocean from Kira, and it's you're just taking pictures of fish, I think. And you're trying to retrieve organic material from a submarine? I'm not worrying too much about, like, his smaller, earlier stuff. But I wanted to see if any of his games, tied into Lunacid in some way. Because I love that game. It's one of my favorite. I tried to do an example of what it was, of what if the being who's responsible for reality interacting with said reality. Did you? Oh, shit. I see. Oh, I think the Undying Beast might have something to do with it. Oh, there's also one more that I want to cover, a game, specifically. And it's probably one of the best cosmic horror, but also just one of the best games I've seen in recent years, because I absolutely adore the story, the characters, everything to do with it. No one would believe such a thing. No one would believe that Azathoth is interacting? Okay, I'm looking for the game real quick.
archaeology game. I think I found an archaeology game.
Hold up. There's a game that I found on the, There we go. There's a game I found on the front page of Steam while I was looking, and, I have bookmarked it. I know nothing of Homestuck. That is okay. Fun fact, me and my homies, once in a while, read Homestuck live on air on Twitch. And if you want to actually catch up on Homestuck and understand everything that's happening, you can actually go to my YouTube, and I have a playlist. You can go watch us reading that. I know it's big, but never really dove in. It's pretty big, but it helps if you have an audio version of it. I I liked reading it. It was fun, but I prefer audio of it, so it was really nice being able to read it out loud with friends. Yeah, I have a playlist of it right there. Let me go check my YouTube real quick. If you go to playlists, you should be able to see it. I could actually just put the playlist here. I've done a lot of shit. Oh my god. It seems like my playlists are in order of when I made them, I think. Ah, there it is. Nope, I don't want to listen to my own voice. Thank you. Here y'all go. You can go watch it. It's right there. We have 6 videos. Each video is about 4.5 hours. It's a long-ass read, but if you want to sit down and just listen for a while, right there. And we're already, I want to say, halfway through the whole story. Now, it has like 7 acts, and we're on Act 5. So why am I saying it's halfway done? That's because Hussey is a crackhead, and made Act 6 and 7 really fuck you long, for no reason. It got stupid long. But we are at about the halfway point. And it's very fun. It's been very fun to read. Put them on my watch later. We've also, I have the unofficial version of the Homestuck website as a program, and I put in a, what is it called? I put it in a mod to take out all the shitty, language, because that's language from 2009, 2011. The R word was dropped a lot in that comic, but you would never notice because I took it all out. So, you know, if you want a nice sounding version of Homestuck, that's why we're reading the not dropping slurs version of Homestuck, because it dropped slurs a lot, and I cut those out because it was annoying. I even just straight up refused to read certain tiny tidbits because the joke wouldn't have landed as well. Because the slur. And I'm like, Hussey, I'm not doing this. You can't make me. So you're gonna notice that. I appreciate it. Yeah, same. I didn't like the fucking language. Back then, I didn't, process it as much. But nowadays, I'm like, ooh. Ooh, I don't want, ooh. So, yeah, that stuff was taken out. And, hopefully no one notices. I don't think anyone would notice where it would come from. Slurs are icky. Slurs are icky! Agreed. Oh, pop my shoulder. Ah, there we go. But, yeah, there's one final, game specifically I do want to discuss, just because I fucking love it and it makes me very happy. I don't think I own it yet, but I would love to play it at some point. I don't have it on my wish list. Let's go look. That's not it. Where is it? There it is. It is a game called Look Outside. This game, to me, is a masterpiece of gaming for this, like, these past few years, and it is a masterpiece of RPG Maker games. Because that's what it was made in, I believe. It sounds scary by the title. It's so good. It can be freaky and it can be kind of scary. And it delves into that cosmic horror thing. The synopsis of the game basically is that you are told not to look outside. You don't know why. You are living in an apartment complex, and your neighbors have started turning into horrible fucking monsters because they have looked outside. You now know not to. But not all of them have lost their minds. So you've got these monstrous motherfuckers running around in the apartment complex. Some are friend, some are foe. And you have to determine who your friends are going to be and who you're going to fight. Sometimes you have to do both. You also have to make decisions that can lead you to either fortune or ruin. The game also has multiple endings, so whatever you choose to do, talk about spooky for sure, it's a good fucking game. I love it. And it made me cry, weirdly enough, because there's parts in this game that explores the core understanding of humanity. And for me, that's what cosmic horror is also about. Understanding the limits of humanity and processing it even when something might be grotesque. When we think of cosmic beings, we think of things that we could never understand or comprehend, but what if we could? And in some way, what if we could humanize them? What if they are just like us? What if we are just ants to them, but they're people to each other? What if one of them decides to speak to that ant being you? Look Outside covers that so fucking well, and I love it. So, I'm not going to spoil anything. Once again, I'm trying to stay vague, but that's another game that would be so fun to play and explore. I might also play that at some point, because holy fuck, I love it so much. Granted, it's very gory, it's very gross, so people will have to be cool with that, but, and by people I mean Twitch, but it's one of the best games for me. It's peak cosmic speculation, not just horror, but contemplation of your life in the universe and contemplation of a being whose life is so much grander than yours, looking down and acknowledging you, and it's really fucking cool. So, with that out of the way, looks like I'm pitting Cecil. Good kitty. Little kitty. With that out of the way, we might actually call it. I know it's early. I normally don't do just 2-hour streams, but cosmic horror isn't something that I can just gush about for 4 hours straight. I would be floundering. I'd much rather leave it here while the peak is peaking. And I have covered a lot of stuff that I would consider cosmic, not just Cthulhu, because yes, they go hand in hand, but they don't have to. Cthulhu is cosmic horror, but cosmic horror is not Cthulhu. I mean, you could play a game. I could play a game, but it is Worldbuilding Wednesday. I like to keep my stream days separate from their topics, as it were. But I will be playing games tomorrow. I will be trying to continue Alien Isolation. Worldbuilding Games Day! Worldbuilding Games Day! I might actually add this to my wish list. There we go. And yeah, I might play Look Outside at some point, because holy fuck, this game is great. I absolutely adore the game, and I haven't even played it. But I've seen someone else play it, and I loved it. I loved all of it. And I want to eat it, and I want to put it in my mouth. But yeah, for now, I think we're going to head on out. We're going to drop you guys in the lap of someone else, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good evening. Thank you, Sewin. Hope you guys enjoyed my little discussion, because I just like talking about shit. I like talking about different horror. There we go. Let's go say hi to Sugar, Teehee. I love you too, baby! You're gonna- oh, I'm gonna get smooches. Well, we better get the fuck out of here quick. Also, I think Sugar Skull is drawing her, her Vandal Doses. Because listen, we have a problem. And it's called we don't have enough Vandal Doses. I will see you guys later, though. Tomorrow, I'll be doing more Alien Isolation and crying about it because it's spooky month. Oh, my hiccups. Maybe I'll play something truly spooky for Halloween, who knows. I do want to explore more Phasmophobia. I want to try that again. I have not played Phasmophobia in like a year. And I want to try it again. Bye-bye, Tricky! I'm your Oshi! Oh my gosh! That's so frickin' flattering. My marks are a teacup and a bat. Teehee. Anyway, goodbye, guys.